Hey dude, sorry about the shitty audio, but I'm working on a different project and didn't want to move the interface over. Alright, so here it is. Welcome back to another edition of Guitar Center TV from the Phoenix Platinum Studios at store number 152. I'm Jay, and today we're going to look at some Pro Tools 10 tricks and tips starting from the beginning. So, let's go ahead and open up Pro Tools. So the first screen you're going to see in Pro Tools 10 is the quick start screen. Now, you have a couple options here to choose from. You can create a session from a template. And in Pro Tools 10, for you post guys, they got a whole post section built right in. You want to do basic stereo with VO and ME. The first time someone told me to send them tracks with just the M and E, I didn't know what they were talking about, and it's cool to see it built into Pro Tools 10. This is a basic stereo session with voiceover and music and effects. That's what ME stands for. But just the fact that that's built into Pro Tools 10 is pretty cool. You even have templates made for the 11 rack, guitar, icon control surfaces, songwriter, record and mix. Lots of cool stuff, right? So we are going to start from a blank session. You have four options here though. You also have a open recent sessions. Here's some recent sessions I was working on. You just click that and bam, you're open and going. Or open session, you click OK here. You're going to search your hard drive for a session. Maybe an older session you're working on months ago or from an external hard drive. So today we're going to start from create a blank session. Now you have session parameters here you want to pay attention to. If your screen looks like this, you have a little drop down menu here. Click that and you have a few options. Option 1 is audio file type. You have a broadcast wave file or the .wav file, so commonly used in recording, but Pro Tools gives you two. It gives you the BWF and the AAAhhhh. AAAhhhh is a interchangeable file that I'll look it up. I can't remember exactly what that stands for right now, but the AAAhhhh is an interchangeable file that would be used for mostly post-production video work and certain mastering types. So for 99.9% of the time you'll be using the BWF. Next you have bit depth, 16, 24, and 32-bit float. I'm going to go ahead today and I'm going to stick with 24-bit. And then you have a box here that should always be checked. This is your interleave, which is basically going to make your tracks easier to open up into different programs, you know, such as Logic or Ableton or Studio One or Cubase or Sonic or anything like that. If you're sending this session to a different producer to work on, click the interleave, and I just kind of make it a rule of thumb of clicking that all the time. Next you have sample rate, 44.1, 48, 88.2, and 96. I'm going to keep this at 44.1 for right now. Then you have your I/O settings. That's your in and out settings on your audio interface. So last used would be the last used I/Os on your last session. You have a few presets here as well. If you're using an 11 rack, you have a preset to set every in and out on your interface for the software, which is pretty cool. C24, Control 24 mixes, icons, and so forth. So we're going to keep that on last used. Hit OK. Our next screen is our save screen. Pro Tools is going to ask you where you want to save this session. Save this into Tips 1. And we're going to call this Tips 1-2. Little edit there would be nice. Here you're going to be looking at these two blank screens thinking, what is this stuff? But we have to build tracks. We have to build tracks for our session. So we're going to go up to our menu and click tracks. We're going to be able to select how many tracks we want to pick. We have a few options here. A mono or stereo, audio, an aux input, master fader, MIDI, and instrument track. Now we're going to start off. The audio tracks are going to be your, we're going to keep these in samples as well. The audio tracks are going to be your standard analog mixing console tracks. This plus menu is unique to Pro Tools, which allows you to add another set of tracks within your session, all in one shot. So let's go ahead and create 4 stereo audio tracks. And there we have 8 mono audio tracks and 4 stereo audio tracks. That's starting to look like an analog console. So I forgot a few tracks there. So let's go ahead and open up our tracks menu. Select new. Let's add 2 stereo instrument tracks. Click 2 there. And a master stereo fader. The master stereo fader is pretty important because this is going to be your volume for all of your tracks in and out of your computer. So here's our session. Now when we flip back to the edit screen, we're going to see our tracks here. And as we record, we'll see waveforms here into our edit screen. So that's opening Pro Tools 10 and you're getting ready to record. When you're ready to record, let's start off with track 1. This red button, we're going to arm this track, so we'll be allowing audio to come into this track. Our I/O is going to let us see what actual input from our interface we're using to send audio to that track. So I just have the 2 to choose from, built-in input 1 and 2, so we'll say input 1. And with my microphone plugged into input 1, I'll be able to record to that track. Now, on your top menu, you have a window, and the way my program is open here, I don't have my transports, so you have to open up your transports using the window menu. Select record. If I hit record right now, I'd get a whole bunch of feedback just because I'm using the onboard microphone, but I guess we're just going to see how this looks, and I'll work on the script a little bit. I think in the real example, I should hook up my interface and record some audio, record everything I'm saying onto that first track so that you can actually see the waveform, because then when I flip back and forth, we'll be able to see waveforms and all that kind of shit here. I'll have this off too as well, so I can just grab shit. So that's kind of the basic setup. I think that's the idea, and I gotta work on this other stuff, but call me tomorrow. Bye.